Welcome to Keep Hustling, where we are going past the why to get to the how. I'm your host, the always hustling Aaron Gordon, aka NY Risk Advisor, aka Mr. #Keep Hustling. In this podcast, we will be diving deep into the professional and personal successes of our guests to find out how they hustled through the most difficult times in their life and their development to achieve the success they've gotten to today. So buckle up for what hopes to be an amazing ride. Let's get to it. Welcome to Keep Hustling with my guest, Whitney O'Halek, aka O'Halek, aka O'Halek. Whitney, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me.
As I said, and this is not when we were off air, right before we came online here, I started this podcast because I believe that people's stories should be shared, and I believe that everyone can learn, that there's almost no story that everyone else can't learn at least something from. And as I was preparing for this episode, I believe that your story is going to be one that inspires. I have no idea where this conversation is going to go other than that. So let's start with this. You're a travel writer. I assume you love traveling.
I love traveling.
Okay, you know what? Because I know that this is going to get intense, I'm going to do something that I did with somebody else. We had a point guru on, okay? And I have to ask you, give me your number. This has nothing to do with your profession, but you've traveled all over the world in various places, various modes of transport, all this stuff. I need your number one travel hack. I'll give you the previous guys, okay? Previous guys' travel hack was, and I'm reminding all of our loyal listeners, you should always have an international adapter for your phone plug, because on airplanes, the American plug gets worn out, and that's why your laptop never stays plugged in. But every plane has that international guy, and if you have the adapter, it will stay in firm. That's a gem I got.
That is an excellent tip. That is one that I'm going to use because I had not thought of that.
There you go.
I learned something new today. My number one travel hack is packing cubes. 100% use the packing cubes. I was a late adopter, but I never pack anything without travel cubes.
Okay, I hate that. Now. I hate everything about that because
Sorry.
My wife, all in on packing cubes. I was not all in on packing cubes. Now, once you start doing it, all in on packing cubes.
Yeah, you can't go back.
But I'll tell you the one problem with the packing. Oh God, this is total digression. This episode is going to be a little bit long, guys, because we're wasting some time, but it is not a waste of time because I got to pick Whitney's brain here. O'Halek. Fine. What do you do when you then have the dirty laundry? Meaning everything is perfectly neatly packed, and I know why then when you get to your destination or as you're traveling. But I find that then towards the end, packing cube is going in the bottom of the suitcase, dumping all the laundry on top of it, finished.
I have a laundry bag, and sometimes it's a gigantic plastic laundry bag from the hotel that they just have in the closet. Usually it's my packing cube set came with a laundry bag that is gigantic. So the packing cubes often will be folded up in the suitcase, and then the laundry will just be on top of that. But at least it's contained. It's not like all over the place.
Okay.
So that's my laundry hack for you.
All right. Where's that accent from?
Tennessee.
Oh, God. No, never mind. It's great. Life is great. You're from a big city. You never saw cows. I got it.
Excuse me. I grew up on a farm, and I fed baby goats from a bottle.
And I grew up in Midtown, and I grew up on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and I fed pigeons. So who had a better childhood, me or you? Okay, I was surrounded by disease.
Fresh eggs.
I was surrounded by disease. What do you got? Okay. Anyway, we digress. Fine. We've gotten past that part. What makes someone want to travel the way you do? Give me the energy. Take me back. Tennessee to traveling.
The thing that made me want to travel is realizing that the world is so much bigger than my small town that I grew up in. I can remember being probably 4 or 5 years old watching some special, probably on PBS, with like people from Poland dancing in their traditional outfits and thinking, wow, the world is so much bigger than I thought. Like it's so much bigger than my little world. And that's really what sparked the travel bug for me. I didn't really start traveling until I was 20, but that had always been in the back of my mind. Like the world is so big and so cool. Like there's so many different cultures. Like how can there be so many different cultures? How can there be so many different languages? How can there be so many different ways to do this, that, or the other? You know, there's no right way, one way to do anything. And once you start traveling, you really get to see that firsthand. And that to me is fascinating. And that makes me keep wanting to travel.
I'll tell you what I think is so amazing about that and the energy. Because like I see, it's like The energy picked up a little bit. It wasn't just talking about, feeding baby cows or whatever. I think that is like a polarizing theory that people have psychologically, meaning I'm from a big city. So my view could have been, what else do I need? You're from a small town and you say, I know that the world, like that I'm in a small town and that there's more out there. What's interesting is very often people then say, but it's nerve-wracking, but I have my comfort. It's interesting because small town, the leap to exposure, for lack of a better term, is probably somewhat scary or daunting. You know what I mean? Like, meaning for me, I don't know if you're aware, but you've traveled the world. The world doesn't, the sun doesn't actually like rotate around the world. The earth doesn't rotate. It's actually New York City. And then the whole, everywhere else you've been rotates. I don't know if you're aware.
I was not aware,
Okay,
but
you're
now
welcome.
I am.
Thank you for coming on the podcast. You're welcome for the education. But no, but you know what I mean? Like, for me, it was like, I have a brother. The reason why I find this so fascinating is my older brother, Ben, he's awesome. He's like the ultimate traveler guy. To me, traveling is terrible. Like, I don't like the packing. I don't like the unpacking. The first night in the hotel is a disaster. I don't know what the shower is going to be like. I don't know if my shaver is going to work, like trim the beard. Like, I don't know any of that. So by the time I get over that hurdle, I'm like, it's not worth it. Like what am I doing? I'm going to be sweaty. You're going to want me to walk places. You're going to want me to see things. Like, I have YouTube. Like, what do I really need? So it's just interesting to me that some people, it's that exact same moment, but it inspires them to go out. The same thing that makes some people coil makes other people expand. So I find that unbelievable.
Yeah. That's one of those fascinating things about people.
It's unbelievable. Okay. I want to 7 minutes and 12 seconds so far, but I got to do it. I always encourage everyone to read the bio. If you haven't read the bio yet, don't. I usually tell people to stop and read the bio. I actually don't want you to read the bio because I want you to hear what Whitney's about to say. Can you take us to the flight?
I can.
And before that, and finding someone who was as crazy as you, don't want to sweat in Spain or wherever you probably went?
So I will give some background. My husband and I met in Prague in the Czech Republic, and we both lived in the same area. We actually had friends who were trying to get us to meet for like 2 years. And he was like, oh, she's too young for me. And I'm like, well, if he doesn't want to date me, other people do. So why would I waste my time?
Southern charm.
And they sort of tricked us into meeting in Prague. Because how do you get two travelers to meet? You make them travel. And we basically started talking and never stopped. And I knew very early on, and I think he knew very early on, that we were really perfect for each other. And we had a love and a marriage that I don't think anyone else in the history of love has ever had. We just loved each other and were so devoted to each other. And travel was that thing that brought us together. And so every time we would travel together, it made our relationship stronger, because that was that thing that brought us together. It's the thing that keeps us together. It's both of our favorite hobby. So all of that to then lead into the ultimate story that we're all here for, because if it bleeds, it leads. So my husband and my daughter and I, my daughter was 6 months old at the time. We were traveling in Egypt for a business trip for me. And we had 3 flights to get home. It was going to be a really long travel day. It started at 3 a.m. Egypt time. And we were just like shored up for it. And we thought, if we can, once we get home from this, we can take a break. We don't have any trips planned after this. We can sort of sleep and we just have to get through this last day of travel, this really long travel day. And so we did our flight from Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt to Cairo, and then Cairo to Frankfurt. Our car seat did not make it to Frankfurt. We thought that was going to be the worst part of our day. So we're spending our whole layover in Frankfurt trying to figure out how we're going to get our daughter home without a car seat. And we're like texting friends, can we use your car seat? Can you come pick us up? We're thinking like, are we going to get arrested if we just like take her in an Uber home, like holding her? We could take the metro because we're in the DC area. We were coming home from Dulles, and, we kind of had it figured out. We were going to get the car seat back as soon as we could. If we could, we were going to keep our expectations low. So we're on this last flight from Frankfurt to Washington, Dulles, and about an hour and a half in, they are serving the meal. My husband was very into the United upgrade world. He was a million miler. He and I both had been 1K for about a decade, him longer than me. And so they're serving the meal, and I see him put this huge bite into his mouth, and he was always doing that. Just he didn't really care about food. He wasn't like trying to savor anything. He just wanted to get through it. And on this flight, he just wanted to get through the meal so that he could go to sleep. It had already been a long day, you know. My daughter was asleep on my right arm, and I'm trying to eat with my left hand. He was watching a show. I think I was watching The Map. That's my favorite thing to do on flights. That's my favorite TV show on flights. And I thought to myself, that's too big, but he's an adult. You know, he'll figure it out. And I don't know how much time had passed, but the next time I look over, I'm realizing that he's choking. And he ultimately, I won't go through the whole thing, but he ultimately choked to death on this flight. And the flight attendants were amazing. People literally leapt over seats to come and do the Heimlich for him. And the Heimlich maneuver doesn't always work. I did not know that. Now everybody listening to this podcast knows that. I now travel with what's called a LifeVac, which is an anti-choking device. Kind of works like a plunger, but they don't have those on flights. And so there was nothing else to try. There were 2 physicians working on him. At one point, they called for large men with long arms to do chest compressions. They did chest compressions for at least a half an hour, constant. And I got on the plane, very happily married, and got off the plane as a widow and single mom. And now I still want to travel. A lot of people were surprised that I still wanted to travel after that, but it's my passion. It's what my husband and I love to do. It's what I want to give my daughter. I want to give her the world. And it's what he would want us to do, is to keep traveling. And so now my focus, instead of travel, writing, kind of generally solo travel, female travel, mommy travel, it's solo parent travel. Because let's be serious, who needs the most help out there? The single parents. So that's what I do now. I try very hard to be as helpful as I can with my information, as concise as I can, because who has the time, with information that's going to be the most helpful to single parents. And that could be divorced parents, widowed parents, parents who are just traveling without their spouse for a trip for one reason or another. So that's what I do now.
You win. You got the guy from New York to be speechless. Okay. Give me a second.
Take your time.
Because when life feels half empty, your passport, sorry, I'm totally, the rest of this episode is going to be a disaster. Your passport, sorry, one more time, editing team, we're going to leave that in. I want everyone to hear that, and I want them to hear me now struggling with my editing team here. Because when life feels half empty, your passport can still be half full. I want to tell you what I think is remarkable about this. First of all, that story is wild. If you're listening to this episode and you have anything to do with any airline or person in aviation, we got to figure out why those devices are not on every airplane for parents and children. I'm just going to leave that there. I have an ancillary connection to an airline. I'm going to find out that answer, and I want to make sure that they're on those planes. It's so crazy because I didn't know, just so that the listeners know, I didn't know that that's what happened. I thought it was like a sudden cardiac arrest thing because in your bio. I was literally talking about this yesterday with someone about having these devices in people's homes and things like that. But if we keep going down this path of this conversation, I'm not going to be able to talk. So we're going to, here's the hustle of Whitney O'Halek. And this is what I got to get to. You doubled down. You got back on the plane.
I did double down. I
like,
really
what do you,
did.
like, and I say this like, and I mean, I promise you, I don't mean this in any disrespect, but what are you doing? Never get on a plane for the rest. Like, what do you do? You know what I mean? But like, that's what this podcast is about. Like, don't run. Again, I'm God forbid in no way making fun of a person or saying that a person who would be traumatized from such an event, who psychologically and mentally feels like they can never get on another plane. I'm God forbid never saying that. but you're just the opposite. Like, what are you doing? Like, how do you get there? How do you find the strength? How do you keep going? And I get the pivot to now you're doing it as a single mom, and and it's an underserved market, and it's a super cool niche. And I have friends who have triplets. They do not have triplets. They have twins, and they are super traveling people. I got to connect you with them. One of my closest friends from childhood, Nathan Edelsberg and his wife, they're awesome. And their goal in life is that they were going to have a family, and it wasn't going to screw up their lives of travel. And they had a blog, which I don't think took off, which should have. Caroline Hershey was on this podcast, Jet with a Set. And their niche was like, when you have multiple kids, the car seat, the inflatable thing, I get the niche. I get how you pivoted or why you pivoted once you decided that you were going to keep doing this. But like, take us inside. Like, why stay at it? Why punch it right back? Why not run?
So I've just traveled so long, and I've been on, I don't know, thousands of flights in my lifetime, probably. And this is the only time that I've been on a plane where someone died. And so I know that it's not common. And
I've been on a plane where someone died.
You have?
Yeah. An elderly person passed away in the seat right behind me over my right shoulder on an 11-hour flight. And all they did was cover the guy with a blanket.
They at least took my husband up front, and I'm sure they covered him. I didn't go up to see. I didn't think that would be good for me. I have been through treatment for PTSD, and so I'm glad that I didn't have more visions and trauma on top of that. They did take my husband up to the front, though, so I didn't have to sit next to him for the next 7.5 hours.
Yeah, by the way, that's I don't. You know what? If you want to go there, we could go there, but I don't really want to go there because it's not good for me. It's not good for me.
Fine. Yeah.
And it's my show. And so it's my show. Let's go to
Let's go to more positive things. I like to be a positive person.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you could have, if you never got on a plane for the rest of your life, nobody would say boo.
Yeah, nobody would blame me.
But I think what you're saying is that wouldn't have been you. And since that wouldn't have been you, and that wouldn't have been your hustle, and that's what this podcast is all about. I'm pointing to the side of my head. Like, that's, you have to pivot. Mm-hmm. You have to redefine your hustle, what it means. Obviously now things are probably different, you know. How old is your daughter now?
She just turned 2.
You know what's probably really cool? The bonding that you guys do traveling, just the two of you.
Absolutely.
Like, again, not by choice. In your case, not by choice, but like, it's probably super unique. Like, you probably will have and will continue to develop like this yin and yang of like how you pack, how you get on planes, the jokes you make, like the way you sit down on the flight, like all of those things. That's a super unique bonding experience.
Yeah, it's true. And I think about that a lot, that I have this time with my daughter that is so unique, and I don't want to wish it away. I hope eventually to get remarried, you know, but I don't know when. I don't know if it's going to be next year or in 10 years. And I want to have these special memories with just me and my daughter. I want to take advantage of where I am and the situation that I'm in, and have this special relationship with my daughter and have these special memories with her. And people are like, well, but she doesn't remember. And it's like, well, I have pictures for that. And I have the memories, you know, I'm allowed to have memories. And, you know, it's true. I have a really unique situation with my daughter. And I have to say, though, I do not always travel by myself. I travel with help rather often. I mean, I went to Palau from Hawaii with her by myself, which was a long travel day. We just recently
2.5 is a tough travel age.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
We recently went to Tokyo, and that was 14 hours there. And on the 14 hours back, we had a friend fly back with us, which was fantastic.
Does she plug in well or no?
She's such a good traveler. She is such a good baby. Like, people come up to me after literally every flight, and they're like, I didn't even know she was back there. Your daughter was so good. And it's like, we've just been doing this since she was like 7 weeks old. She doesn't remember not traveling.
That's the catch-22 of travel. The parents that are too traumatized to risk it when the kids are really young don't realize that it's, we don't have I have 5 children, and we don't have a television in your home. And I'll just tell you.
We also do not have a TV.
So, but I will tell you a cute story. I don't know if you know I'm from New York. I don't know if you know that.
I picked it up,
I don't know if you picked this up
from the sound of your voice.
Right. And right now we're still in the summer of 2026, so I can say that the glory of the Knicks winning the championship, first time in my lifetime, is still there. And there's a very cute thing happened with my son, who's almost 10. My son is almost 10 years old. And there was a commercial that came on, I think for like a new Paw Patrol movie, something like that. It wasn't like something like above his age. It was probably below his current age bracket of like, it was like cartoons or that. And he says to me as we're watching the game, he says, "When are we going on a plane next? Because I want to watch that next movie."
I love it.
And it's like it's just interesting. That's why I said they plug in well. But I'm so inspired by the fact that like everything that I believe in with this podcast, you're portraying. It's like so many people. The analogy that I give more often than not is the person who's almost at the top of the hill and then they quit because they don't know how much higher they have to go. But if you zoom out, they're pushing the rock, and if you zoom out, there's like they're right there.
Yeah.
How many people give up on their dream or give up on not because they realize that it's not their dream. I think you should pivot your dream, but this happens to you and you still have the itch. You do you're introspective. You realize you still want to do this. You still want to provide this life for your daughter. This is the way you're going to honor the memory of your late husband, and you dig into it. Like I imagine that there was probably significant vodka tonics on that first flight. I imagine.
I actually don't drink. So,
1 second, you travel all the time and you don't drink?
Yeah, so I didn't
Hold
have
on a second. Do you have Delta drink vouchers? Do you have Delta drink vouchers?
No, I'm on United. I have United.
Oh, I forgot you said that. Shoot. Okay. If you get, guys, I'm because of where I'm located and the travel, I'm like a Delta junkie. By the way, Delta, if you want to sponsor the podcast. By the way, United, if you want to sponsor the podcast. By the way,
absolutely.
Delta or United, if you want to sponsor Whitney's travel going forward. Delta, I'm pretty sure I can pivot Whitney to become a Delta person if you want to sponsor all of her travel going forward, and you take a LifeVac and you put it on all of your planes. But what? You didn't drink on the planes? You're going to tell me like it's bad for the equilibrium. It's the worst thing to do when you drink. A flight attendant knows that they're going to have a bad flight if everyone orders drinks before. Okay, fine. Whatever. I'm so inspired by how you leaned into it.
Thank you.
I'm so inspired. And the line, when life feels half empty, your passport can still be half full, I think can be applied to so many things.
Yeah.
Not your glass can be half full. When life feels half empty, your career can still be half full. When life feels half empty, your family can still be half full. Whenever something hits you and it empties out half, you have the choice of what to do with the other half. That doesn't mean, by the way, and please correct me if you think I'm wrong, that you can instantaneously replace the other half. Like you can't just automatically replace that void and fill up what's missing.
Yeah.
But you have a choice of what to do with what you have left, or what energy you have, or what you want to focus on.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And, there are widows out there who took weeks to just lay in bed, and that is how they needed to grieve. I needed to grieve in action, and I needed to do something. I am a doer. My husband and I are both doers. We just can't sit still and wait for things to happen. And now I have to be moving forward, and because I know myself and I know that I'm prone to depression. I definitely have anxiety, and I can't just let myself wallow in that. And, for other people, it's not wallowing, it's healing. But for me, it would be wallowing. And the only healing thing that I could do was travel. I needed to, and I've always said for years that blogging and travel writing is the one thing I can't not do. So I can't just give up my travel writing. It's too important to me. It's too much a part of who I am. And so I had to figure it out. I had to figure out, like, do I want to do a mommy blog? Do I want to do a new blog? Do I want to keep the old blog? My old blog was doing really well at the time, and I had just started putting on content about travel and being a parent, so like traveling with a kid. And so I just couldn't continue with that blog. It was Quick Wit Travel, so if anybody wants to go check it out, it's still up there. 2,000 posts up there for you to peruse. But
do you vlog?
I do. I have a YouTube. It's Half Full Passport. I am not great at it.
Everyone, I should do this more. I should do more. Everyone's got to follow. Guys, come on. Whoever's listening to this, just follow when you're listening to it. Check it out. Doesn't matter now or in the future. Everything should be half full. Like everything is just, we got to be, it's incredible to me because like, it's so clear to you.
Yeah.
Like it's so like fulfilling life, fulfillment. And the way to get there is just so incredibly powerful and clear that it's just interesting to me. That like, I wonder if the message to all of those out there who have a traumatic thing happen or an experience that may derail them is to re-engage in your purpose. Like it's a pivotal moment and it's an opportunity. And by the way, again, if you said, and it's not gonna be for me, I'm gonna do because I can't get on airplanes and whatever. I love traveling. I'm gonna do the US thing and I'm gonna like live in a van and drive around the US. Like it's just,
I'll tell you a secret.
Oh God.
I hate road trips. Like my husband and I both are so anti-road trip. Like van life is so not for me. Like give me an airplane every single time.
That's okay.
I
There's
could not do
something so
just the
disturbing
US
about
thing.
this conversation. Like, so by the way, let me say this. I was obviously being sarcastic when I said that. Here's why I think it worked for you. Yes, you mentioned, and I appreciate the vulnerability, the comment about some anxiety or whatever. But you have like, I'm trying to think about the right way. Okay, getting to a place that you think is going to be X and really is X minus a million on the gross scale or plus a million on the gross scale, like super gross. And like it's 2 a.m. and you've just been on 2 flights and their bathroom is gross. You can't even shower in the place. Like that doesn't scare you. That scares the heebie-jeebies out of me. Like I would rather road trip, get in my car, drive to the nearest next city and figure it out. I have my American snacks. I know I can get my big up. Like, so I think seriously that your story, it was almost like prophetic to that. It was almost like all of the times of getting delayed, figuring that stuff out, the life plan not going as planned and creating that agility to that and that flexibility literally prepares you for the moment of having to pivot to survive.
And I love that you called it agility. That like I need to start thinking of it that way. Like I've always, told people, travel makes you really flexible, it makes you really adaptable, but wow, it makes you agile in like a very different way. That's like a light bulb moment for me. So thank you for that light bulb moment here on your show.
See, it's again, the gems you're getting from the New Yorker are something you could never even dream of this morning. But I mean, I think that it's, it's almost like one of the things where parenting, like, by the way, this kid's gonna be ultimate. This kid's gonna be ultimate. Like
she's
her
not
husband,
gonna have
by
any
the way,
choice. She's just gonna have to like adapt to everything.
Or she's gonna be like, I'm moving to a small town in Tennessee and never leaving. And like, I want to do my own eggs. But like so much of what's missing with the youth of this generation is that ability, is that pivot. Like I joke, but it's true. One of the things that my wife actually commented, we missed a flight a couple of years ago. I think we had 4 kids at the time. And like, I'm the super anxious type. She before I travel, and I travel some for business, like, and personally, don't talk to me 12 hours before the flight until I get my last bag off the carousel.
Wow.
So that means if I'm doing if I don't have a bag, we're fine. I land, I'm good. But if I'm doing like a quick 2-day business trip and I need a bag or like a giveaway, don't talk to me for 3 days, basically, is the answer. But when we missed the flight with the kids, we both kind of looked at each other and we're like, okay, like we're going to figure it out. Like we're going to obviously hustle and try to get another flight and whatever. But like, you can't freak out because like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And I think I've slept in places with no air conditioning. I prefer the air conditioning. Like it's almost like when you're forced to do it, you do it. And therefore like the more times you force yourself to work that muscle, and that's what's missing in our generation. Kids are not running outside and scraping their leg and having to figure it out. Kids are not interacting and socially the way they have. Kids are not going to places of discomfort. Kids are not exploring the world. Yeah, air travel is easier, but like I make fun of Tennessee all I want, but like you probably experienced things, explored, made mistakes, had incredible successes, all those things like that. And that exploration is a muscle that I feel like more people got to lean into. And there's so many ways to do it. Again, we were talking about road tripping. We were talking about your own community. We were talking about your own city. We were talking about camping, hiking, moving, international travel, a week a year, a summer. So I think you're awesome. So thank you for inspiring me.
Well, thank you. It's my whole plan for life is to inspire people. So I'm glad that I'm able to do that for you.
What did we miss? You're outside of DC. Everyone should get the book. Everyone should follow the blog. We're going to post that. Before we close, I'm gonna make an offer here. I don't usually do this, but nobody listens to this podcast anyway. And if you do, and if this goes viral, let's do it. If you're in the travel industry and you're hearing this, I'm willing to commit financial resources and social resources to getting these LifeVacs out into the world. If you work for LifeVac and we're going to tag you and we're going to reach out to you on this, reach out to me, reach out to Whitney. Let's do something. Let's turn a negative into a positive. Let's all be inspired. Let's realize that the passport can still be half full. I know no U.S. airline is going to reach out to us. That's fine. We'll get there eventually. Let's make sure that these things are in every school. Let's make sure that these things are in every church and synagogue and restaurant, all these places. I'm giving free advertising to LifeVac or a competitor of theirs. But let's do that so that we can honor the legacy of Whitney's husband. Now, Whitney, as you know, we have a closing tradition on this podcast where we ask our guests to leave us with their favorite motivational or inspirational quote. I cannot wait for this one. And with that, I'm going to say thank you again for inspiring me. Thank you for giving me an emotional moment, which I don't get as much as I probably should. And thank you just for, you know what? Even if the glass is still half empty, you can make the glass bigger. And therefore, the half full part is bigger. And that's what you inspired me to think about for the rest of today and going forward. So with that, I'm going to say thank you again for being here. And the floor is yours.
Okay, so my favorite quote ever for probably 2 decades at least now is from Albert Einstein. And it is, everyone is a genius, but if you tell a fish to climb a tree, it will spend its entire life believing it is stupid. And that to me says, I need to find what I'm good at. I need to get in the water. I don't need to climb the tree. I don't need to waste my time on the things that I am not good at. I can find the thing that I'm meant to do. And I'm meant to be a travel writer.
I absolutely love that. Whitney, thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been great. I love the podcast. I listen to the podcast. So
thank you. This has been another episode of Keep Hustling. Remember, do well by doing good. And of course, and always, keep hustling. All right, hustlers, that brings us to the end of another fantastic episode. Thank you for listening. The listeners are the most important part of this show. If you like what you heard, please leave us a review wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Your feedback means the world to us and helps us reach more listeners. Plus, be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. We have some amazing guests and topics lined up for you, and we don't want you to miss out. And finally, if you have any suggestions, comments, or even just want to say hello, please feel free to reach out to us on all social media platforms. We are Keep Hustling Pod on Instagram, X, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We would love to hear from you to continue the conversation. Thanks again for tuning in and supporting our podcast. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, stay curious, stay hungry, and keep hustling.